The Super Bowl is finally here. Chiefs versus Buccaneers, and all I can say is I think it's been a great NFL season. I've had a great time reporting the NFL and giving my thoughts all year long about every tidbit of information I could. I tried my best to stay up to date. I know things kind of stayed on the basketball side, and it wasn't necessarily my intent, but at the end of the day, it was a lot of fun. I had a great time this year, and I'm just happy we got to have a season. I wasn't even sure if we would have a season, so the fact that we got all the way to the Super Bowl and we're finally watching this great game play out is definitely a treat to have, and I'm really thankful that we get to see it. With that said, we do have the matchup. It's the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I mean, this is a home game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Not that it really matters that much this year, just because I guess it will matter a little bit because fans will still be there, but just not in max capacity. It isn't as big of a deal as it has been in years past, obviously. Not enough fans to really make that big of an impact on the game. But it is nice for the Buccaneers to just be in the city, and it's their place. I mean, it's an advantage anywhere. Even if there were no fans there, it's an advantage. They don't have to travel. They're in the mindset. They're there. I've heard Bruce Arians say that it's a big plus to be in your home city and you don't have to deal with scheduling and changes and planning. And I'm sure that, COVID protocols would have had them be more at risk if they were to travel, and now they might not have to worry that much.
Now, we're so lucky this year we don't have to travel. So for us, it was a matter of practice schedules and making sure our team is fresh, yet ready to play.
Although this is Friday, so it's not like there's going to be a giant outbreak. But honestly, you never know. I wouldn't be surprised if 2 minutes before the game teed off, Patrick Mahomes tests positive or something crazy. But barring anything like that, the Super Bowl will be happening this Sunday. And I think it's a great matchup. I've heard a lot of people saying that they don't like the matchup because it's Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, two guys that have dominated for years. Patrick Mahomes has been dominating since he was drafted and since he won MVP in 2018. Tom Brady's been killing the entire league since 2000. You look at this and you're like, okay, yeah, it's Brady versus Mahomes. It's the future versus the past. And Brady, I don't think he's on his last leg. I do think he has a few more years in him, but I do not necessarily think that he is in the prime of his career and, he's going to win 3 more Super Bowls. I think that this is awesome that he got this far, but I don't think that he's going to continue to carry teams. So this might be the only shot we get to see of Mahomes versus Brady, and I can tell you 15, 20 years down the line, people are going to come back to this game and be like, oh, Mahomes, yeah, this is why he's the GOAT. He's the GOAT because But at the other side of the spectrum, it might go the opposite way. It might hurt him. This isn't why he's the GOAT. He lost to Tom Brady, and Brady will always be the GOAT. So that is a discussion that I'm sure we'll have in the future. But now I want to talk about the game. So this is an interesting game. So the Chiefs, obviously, high-powered offense, great defense. I think the Chiefs have the best quarterback in the NFL. Patrick Mahomes, in my opinion, is the best quarterback in the NFL. No question. He gets it done every single game. He really does not have many weaknesses, if any weaknesses at all. So, plus Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, he's got Clyde now, he's got Damian Williams, Le'Veon Bell. Sammy Watkins is actually going to be playing this game, and he's had a history of playing pretty well in playoff games. Mecole Hardman, Demarcus Robinson. I'm really just naming guys at this point. But like I said, tons of weapons for this Chiefs offense, Patrick Mahomes, and the Chiefs only allowed 22 sacks this season. So it's not like they are a horrible offensive line. With that said, the Buccaneers defense has been one of the best in the NFL. They have been the best in these playoffs, absolutely destroying teams. We saw what they did to the Saints. Unfortunately, as a Saints fan, that one hurt a lot. Devin White, he basically single-handedly dug our grave. And then Antoine Winfield, he'll be back. They've got Sean Murphy-Bunting, who locked up Michael Thomas. They've got Levante David, Shaquille Barrett, guys who can apply pressure at an elite level for the entire game. We saw this matchup in Week 12, actually. We saw the Chiefs versus the Buccaneers, and what we saw was the Chiefs win. And this game was the Tyreek game. It was crazy. He was on pace for like 1,500 yards after the first quarter. Like that, this was that game. He had almost 300 yards, 15 receptions. He had 3 touchdowns. Single-handedly killed this team, and I wouldn't be surprised if he does it again. I mean, we saw him do it once. I'm just saying, man. That's that possibility. Tyreek running down the sideline for a streak. You can't just game plan for that without risking the middle of the field to Travis Kelce, or without risking enough run defense to stop Clyde, Le'Veon, Damian Williams. You're going to have to compromise, and you're going to have to guard deep. Bruce Arians has to understand he's going to have to stop Tyreek. If they can't stop Tyreek, they will not win the game. With that said, I think they have a chance to stop Mahomes, and that is where this game comes down to. This team applied a ton of pressure to Mahomes in Week 12. Mahomes made things happen under pressure. He was throwing dimes off his back foot while he was getting tackled by Devin White. You know, he was making those kind of plays that game, and that's why they won. He threw for 460 yards and 3 touchdowns. But watching that game and seeing the highlights again, almost every single play Mahomes was pressured about as good as you can get pressure on somebody without sacking them. They were constantly in his face, terrorizing him. I know Mahomes had a crazy game, and he could have another one here. But it definitely, I think that the Buccaneers defense can get it done. I do. I think they're going to apply enough pressure. I think that Tyreek might get clamped. I don't think he's going to get clamped, okay? I take that back fully. I think Tyreek will have a pretty good game. I don't, however, think he's going to have 280 yards and 3 touchdowns like he did last time. And remember, last time they played, the Chiefs didn't win by much. They went up 17-0 and ended up winning like 24-21 or something. It wasn't a blowout, and that is going to come into play during this. So to talk about the Buccaneers offense, Tom Brady, come on. He's on an incredible run right now. I mean, he went from the most winning team in NFL history, led by him and Bill Belichick, of course, came down to the Buccaneers, and he has been killing it with them too, and they are seen as one of the worst franchises in NFL history. So I'm excited. I am, and I think Tom Brady is going to have a great game. The Chiefs' defense is okay. I don't think that the Chiefs' defense is an amazing unit that is even, I really just don't think they compare with this Buccaneers defense. Plus, I mean, their tight end defense is bad. They were the 7th worst tight end defense in the NFL during this last regular season. And when you have Rob Gronkowski, Tom Brady's favorite target, plus you got to worry about Chris Godwin and Mike Evans and Antonio Brown, that's 4 big guys you have to stop. And the Chiefs don't have that deep of a secondary. It was apparent when they played the Buccaneers in Week 12. Again, I'm going back to that. And overall, I'm really expecting a lot from Mahomes. It's going to come down to him and the defense for the Buccaneers. Mahomes has to do what he did in Week 12, and that's going to be hard to recreate. He's going to have to make dime throws in severe pressure. I mean, the pressure is going to be sack-worthy. I can see 3, 4, 5 sacks. And Patrick's going to have to make some magic happen. Do I think he's going to have 460 yards and 3 touchdowns like last time? No, I don't. The Buccaneers barely lost to the Chiefs then, and I think that the Buccaneers have more momentum than the Chiefs. They came off 3 wins in the playoffs, Washington, then they beat New Orleans, then they beat Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. So, with that said, my prediction for this game is I'm going to give the game to the Buccaneers. And I think it's going to be a great Super Bowl, but I'm going to go 37-28, Buccaneers win. It's definitely hard for me to say that because I'm sick of seeing Tom Brady winning, and God, it sucks to understand that, man, he's probably going to do it again. But nothing we can do about it, and honestly, I don't love Tom Brady. I never have, but I've got to respect him. Come on. Like, what he's done has been remarkable. He is clearly the greatest of all time. There are no questions at all, especially if he wins a Super Bowl here, and he's not even done. So Thank you so much for watching. If you got this far, please leave a like and a comment if you enjoy. It helps us a ton, and I am excited to go further into the basketball season. We'll talk about some NFL stuff if Deshaun gets traded. I'll definitely make a video about that. But please stay tuned, subscribe, like, and we'll see you next time. Peace.